When it comes to the aftermath of a narcissistic relationship and healing from it, I think there's a lot of things that people don't realize. I want to share the harshest lessons I've learned during my recovery from a toxic narcissistic relationship. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess. If you want more videos discussing narcissism, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Number 1, you won't forget this person. And I hear this from a lot of survivors. Some combination of, when am I just going to forget about them? When am I just going to let it go, forget them, forget their existence, and get on with my life and get back to normal? And here's the harsh truth that I learned. We don't forget this person. There absolutely comes days in your life where you don't give them much thought, you have less and less emotional responses to certain things, and ultimately acceptance and indifference will hit. And for some people, this takes longer than for other folks. But forget? Absolutely not. You're never going to forget the person who did horrible, awful things to you. As of writing this, I was discarded almost 5 years ago. I haven't forgotten this person. And not just because I do this for a living. When someone traumatizes us, forgetting is not an option. There's no cheat codes, there's no amnesia, there's no reset button. This has affected you deeply, and you won't be forgetting it or this person, probably for the rest of ever. Number 2, there's no justice for what happened. Justice is the idea, the concept that all humans should be treated with some level of fairness. No, there's no justice here. You were not treated fairly. Now, we're not perfect. We don't do everything perfectly. We're not perfect partners in relationships. I'll never sit here and say that we are. But nothing was done to us that was actually deserved, and I think we can all pretty much agree on that. Now that it's happened, though, there's literally nothing that will settle the score, so to speak. Revenge doesn't exist. You can't hurt somebody who doesn't give a shit in the first place. It's a waste of time. You look petty, and truly, they're only knocked down. They're not knocked out. They'll find other jobs, other relationships, other peers, other friend groups, other money, other living situations, other everything. All you can do is turn your focus inward and work on yourself. Going after revenge, being mad that there's no justice for this, however you want to say it. Honestly, it's all just a big waste of time. Number 3, I've learned sugarcoating things doesn't work. Dodging emotions, living in denial, trying to get through this in the lightest, softest way possible does you absolutely no favors. Healing is not light and fluffy and cute and something you do in your off time. If I'm being honest, and I am, I find those ideas and those concepts ridiculous and annoying. This hurts. This is raw. This is awful. This is gut-wrenching. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. And most of the time, there's no one to hold your hand through it. But here's the thing. We don't grow. We don't learn. We don't heal unless we push outside of our comfort zone. No growth is ever discovered where you are comfortable. I had to do things I didn't like. I had to accept things I didn't like accepting. I had to take responsibility, be an adult, and get a grip on reality, none of which did I like. I had to sit in extremely uncomfortable emotions and situations. I had to go to therapy for years, on and on and on. Save the sugarcoating for the cookies and the fairy tales. This shit is real. Don't do yourself a disservice by trying to skip around it and beat around the bush and go into denial and act like it's not happening. Oh, it's not really that bad, so on and so forth. This does not help you. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, get help, guidance, and support for what you're going through, you can send an email to bookachatwithjess@gmail.com, or you can visit my website and book a chat session there. All that information is on the screen now and available down in the video description for you. Number 4, if you don't do the hard work, you don't feel better. I'm aware that this entire video is going to ruffle feathers and piss people off and be controversial, but when has that honestly ever stopped me? But just a reminder, these are lessons I personally learned. However, it doesn't make them not accurate. So here we go. Flat out, if you don't work on healing, You don't feel better. You just don't. If you're not working with a counselor, if you're not journaling, working on standards, boundaries, staying no contact, learning how to gray rock effectively, how to break a trauma bond, staying away from their social media, and blah, blah, blah. If you don't heal in a healthy way, you're not going to heal at all. You're going to stay sad and mad, obsessed, bitter, and unhealthy if you don't put the work in towards getting better. Number 5, no, they don't care. They don't give a shit, and they can't afford to. That's right, they don't care. They don't care at all. People with narcissism have unmet needs and unmet wants. And if you're not doing what they want you to do, they're going to find somebody else who will. This is not a relationship with emotions. This is a business arrangement with terms and conditions. Narcissists make it your responsibility to meet all of these needs instead of being their own person and learning how to do this on their own. You're not even a real person. You are an object. Serve your purpose or they move on. And even if you feel like you're doing a great job, even if you are doing a great job and doing a lot for them, they may not feel it's enough. They're never going to feel like it's enough. So yeah, they move on and they don't care, looking for what they feel is the next best thing. The joke is ultimately on them because they're never going to find it. They're seeking perfection, which is an idea that doesn't really even exist in the real world, but they don't care. And that is something that you've got to accept. Number 6, being mad only hurts you. Ooh, I didn't like this one. I finally had to ask myself, Jess, how long are you going to be mad about this? This other person isn't mad. They're long gone. They don't care. They're on to the next day. Couldn't care less. How long are you going to be pissed about what they did to you? And sure, acceptance and indifference takes time and work to get to, but really, the anger, you have to let go of it. This person has mental issues, emotional issues, and probably other issues. They're not going to work on those, so why are you mad? This is the way this person is, and what are you going to do? Sit around and be mad forever? It doesn't bother them one bit. So the idea that I came up with, what I started thinking about was, you wouldn't be mad at a person in a wheelchair because they can't walk. That would be super fucked up. Why would you do that? There's a difference between I can't and I won't. Narcissists can't do what needs to be done. They don't have the emotional maturity. They don't have the empathy. They don't have what they need to have to behave like an adult. I mean, really? I can't stay mad at somebody with so many problems. I mean, really, take a look at this person in your life. It's no wonder why they behave the way they do. Most of them have no home training, a terrible home life. They were bullied or abused in their own right. So this is who they are. You can't be shocked, you can't be surprised, and really, you can't be angry. I learned I can't be mad at somebody for being who they are. That's who they are. Why would I be mad about that? Just like nobody can really be mad at me for who I am. If you don't like me, that's fine. Keep it moving. If I don't like you, if I don't think you behave right, then I move on, and that's just what we do. I can choose that it's not somebody worth dealing with. I can choose to not have this person in my life. But just to be angry because of who somebody is, no, that's just who they are. You accept it. You go, okay, that is not right, but good luck to you on that one. If you'd like to join my survivor group chat where myself and other survivors talk and share about all aspects of life, as well as my monthly survivor roundtable chat, become a channel member today. A link to get started and get access to all that is down in the video description for you. Number 7, you change. You change a lot through this experience. Not only did I learn about narcissism and other disorders, I learned a lot about myself. Those were far more invaluable lessons, I assure you. I didn't know what empathy really meant or what codependency was all about, and I actually didn't realize that some of my behavior was super unhealthy and toxic. This all makes you different. Yes, this whole experience makes you a different person, but don't fear that, because who you're going to end up being in the end, if you heal in a healthy way, is strong and intelligent, resilient, and capable of anything. Who I was before this all happened, yeah, that person really needed a drastic change. And let me tell you, when you go through the healing and you do it in a healthy way, You are not the same person you were before, and it's amazing. Number 8, this person was toxic, but you know what? So was I. I learned I love bombed people. I learned I wanted attention, and I learned a lot of not cool things about myself. Other things that I had gone through, especially when I was younger, made me who I was. It made me codependent, amongst other things. I spent about 2 years healing from my relationship, but honestly, another 2 or 3 years discovering all of the not cool things about me and doing my best to work on them. But we're always growing, we're always changing, so work on ourselves is never going to end. Yet another thing I think we need to accept, we're always a work in progress. It was a hard pill to swallow that I had toxic traits too. We all do. Narcissism runs on a spectrum. We all have some of those traits and tendencies, and that's pretty normal, pretty human. These are probably the shittiest lessons I've learned, but lessons nonetheless, and there were absolutely many more. But share with me down in the comments the harshest lesson that you had to learn from your experience. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.